Now this, Meta has to agree to pay right around $17 billion and add new guardrails to its social media platforms to protect children. Meta's chief legal officer is now calling on other companies to follow suit. Watch this.
This framework will only work if all our peers join us. Because teens move fluidly across dozens of apps, we need an industry-wide solution. We therefore call on our industry peers, TikTok and YouTube, to implement this new framework right away.
Kerry Oban joins me now. All right, so what happens now, Kerry? Will you think other social media companies follow suit and settle and come to some sort of agreement?
I think they're going to have to. I think we have entered an era of accountability for social media companies because this settlement out of this federal trial did not come in isolation. Let's remember that in the spring, an individual plaintiff prevailed in her state case against Meta and YouTube on a products liability theory, which said that, hey, you are creating a product that's inherently defective. It's designed to addict. That addiction is causing harm, and you failed to warn me and others, and now I'm suffering. Then you had in New Mexico, the attorney general there successfully brought basically a child exploitation lawsuit against, that was just Meta, saying that Meta, you're enabling child predators, and Meta had to pay over $900 million in that one alone. And now we have this settlement out of this case where you have a whole coalition of states who are saying you're violating consumer protection laws in the states. You've designed a product that causes harm because it creates this addiction. You're misleading consumers about the potential harm that it can cause in children. And you also used information about kids under 13 in violation of federal law. So think about that. Those three in the aggregate, I think, signal that we have entered a new chapter when it comes to big tech and accountability.
Let me ask you this, because I get this question a lot. Where does that money go? In the case of the states, does it just kind of disappear into state coffers? I mean, where does it go?
Well, if we look at what happened in the big tobacco litigation, which a lot of people have said this litigation is modeled after, you had a percentage that went towards health resources in this state. You had there a very small percentage, actually, that went towards the effects of tobacco. And then the rest of it went to plug budget shortfalls. And this is one of the criticisms. I think the Wall Street Journal editorial board pointed this out, that this doesn't really help anyone but the states themselves. I actually I disagree a bit on that, because I think the rules and the restrictions now that Meta, and I would say that others are going to have to ultimately implement as well, are good. And I also think because Meta keeps losing, what was once a cultural conversation among parents has now moved into the courts of law, and courts don't seem to be standing for this. This doesn't eliminate parental responsibility at all. I want to make that very clear. They're the first line of defense. But just because they have a responsibility doesn't mean that corporations don't have a responsibility either, especially when it comes to marketing and designing products that are for children.
I want to get to this one, Kerry. A federal judge who initially blocked President Trump's executive order to restrict mail-in ballots has now lifted that decision. What do you think does this mean for the midterms?
Well, I think only time will tell on that. Now, the states are arguing it's going to cause confusion, but I will say that the Supreme Court handed the Trump administration a pretty significant win on Monday when they lifted that stay. And then the executive order, if you recall, did three things. It, one, instructed the Department of Homeland Security to create lists of eligible voters in each state. They send those lists to the states. States don't have to use them. Number two, it told the Attorney General to prioritize prosecuting local and state officials and others who would facilitate non-U.S. citizens voting by giving them ballots, because as we know, that's a federal crime, and that's clearly within the lane of the executive branch. That's their job, to enforce federal law. And three, this rule. The rule is what's causing all the controversy, and the rule just went into effect. The Supreme Court had said, look, the states were premature in bringing the suit because the rule hadn't gone into effect yet. Well, now it's gone into effect. And what does the rule do? The rule directs state and local officials, if there's someone there who wants to mail in a ballot, they have to submit that through a postal service portal. And then the USPS then takes that, looks at their list, and then that ballot, the envelope, has to have a trackable barcode. So the states don't like this because they say, look, the Constitution gives us the power to manage elections. That is true. But the executive branch here, the Trump administration, is saying, right, well, we manage the Postal Service, and they're the ones who receive the ballots, and it's a crime for people who are not citizens to vote. So therein lies the tension, and it'll probably go back to the Supreme Court.
Gotcha. I got a minute left, Kerry, and I want to get to this one too. Closing arguments in the Lindsay Clancy murder trial, underway right now, by the way. 36-year-old mother accused of killing all three of her children inside their Massachusetts home back in 2023. What's her defense, and what do you think are the possible outcomes here? It's a very difficult one.
Yeah, well, she says she's not guilty by reason of insanity. And Massachusetts is in a minority of states where the state government, is the one who has to prove that she had a mental disease, disprove that. And if not, that she wasn't able to appreciate right or wrong. What's interesting in the closing arguments that the prosecution is currently presenting as we speak is they said, look, there's no question that she had a mental issue, an illness, so to speak, but she definitely appreciated right and wrong. And we know this by all of the many decisions that she made up to and through the points of her killing her children and an attempt to kill herself.
Wow. All right, we'll continue to follow that. But Kerry, thank you so much for joining us. You covered a lot of ground and a lot of different issues, and we do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.